said if you got a hybrid, you might as well exit. I used to have a hybrid, never again, man. Somebody said to me, they was like, yo, somebody was in my comment section. I didn't take a screenshot of that, but somebody was in my comment section. They was like, yo, man. Yeah, yeah.
Hello. Are you here for the trading class? Oh. Hey. Hey, Anthony,
I'm
good. Huh?
I said, I'm the only one.
Yeah, so far, how you doing, bud? You doing good?
Yeah, I'm
Good, good.
I have my daughter downstairs.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, she's in the office. I had to take her out of school because there was a case in her school.
Oh, COVID? Oh, really?
So, yeah, she goes to the school up there in Orange City.
Okay.
And yeah, they said you gotta take they close down all the kindergartens.
Really?
For
2 weeks?
Yeah, so it's Monday she'll be going back.
So they had a lot of cases?
They didn't specify, but it's 3 kindergarten classes and it's like 20 students in each class.
Really?
So they shut them all down, teachers as well.
Yeah, yeah.
And we took her to go test last night. She's good.
She's good.
Yeah, everybody's good. We're all in the same house, so
that's good.
It's crazy, man.
Isn't it?
It's crazy. Like,
it is something else. Have you been vaccinated? You're not gonna get it?
I don't know, man.
Really? You should get it. It's up to you, but
Yeah. I mean, not even the flu vaccine I've ever taken.
yeah, I've gone years.
I don't take nothing, like.
Yeah, I've never taken.
Aspirin.
Yeah, I took it last year for the first time. What I saw my wife's niece, her father passed from COVID. Strong guy, he was probably 61. It was a wake-up call for me because I hadn't known anyone in the family that passed away.
Yeah.
Strong guy, worked out every week. And within 30 days, he got it. He got it, right? And it was earlier on, right? He got it. And he thought it was just a cold. It's no big deal. And everyone kept telling him, go in, have it checked out.
He didn't go.
He didn't go. And literally, within 4 weeks, he was gone. Yeah, he was gone. Yeah, she lost her dad, man. And the sad thing is, for years, he wasn't in her life. Yeah, for years, he wasn't in her life. And I mean, she knew her dad was and everything, but he had another family. And so in the last 5 years or so, they really got close. So they had a really good relationship, and then she had twin daughters. So it was really. So when that happened, man, I was like, I'm gonna get my son. I was like,
we know a lot of people that died.
really? You knew?
Yeah, we know a lot of people that died, got sick,
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Your family members?
Family members, friends.
Really, that have passed away?
Yeah.
I don't think you can, I think everyone at this point probably knows someone
Yeah.
who has passed from COVID. But it's something else.
When it first started, like, it was the lady that checks the notes for us or our agency,
Mhm.
she works with Medicaid. Her sister was getting married on a cruise. We
Mm.
went on a cruise.
Yeah.
This is when it was a China.
Yeah, early.
And we had went on the cruise to Barbados.
Yes, yes.
And everything, but when we came back, she went back to work, died within 2 weeks.
No.
And I had met her on the cruise.
You'd met her on the cruise.
Right. So that was like, I was like, whoa.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was early. So that was like March?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It was early. So around the time of COVID, like my daughter had her birthday in February. We had people over and everything, bounce house in the backyard.
Yeah.
And didn't even know that this thing was going on.
Yeah.
So these people did us a disservice, man.
They did, yeah.
It's very horrible what they did, It's like
I think I probably had it. I remember, so that was February. In January, I came down with a flu, and I usually never get the flu.
Me too.
You around that time?
Yeah, me and my daughter. But this is before.
Yeah, before it was,
When I went in and checked for the flu, they said, no, you don't have it.
You don't have it.
This is not when they were doing COVID testing.
Yeah.
This was like just
the
checking.
flu, for the
Right,
flu.
I had aches and.
Yeah, me too.
So when I haven't taken a test since everything
Okay.
to see if I even have the antibodies for it.
Okay.
I haven't even done that.
Okay.
So I don't even know. My
Yeah,
wife
yeah.
she has checked.
She's
but
checked.
She don't have no antibodies.
Okay.
So I would figure if she don't have it, we don't have it
Yeah,
either.
but it was weird because I never get the flu.
Me neither. I don't get sick like that.
I have allergies. I
Yeah.
get allergies,
Yeah.
but it's strange, man. It's a strange.
It's like you have a personality because it can go into a household. I know of a situation where a wife and her husband live in the house.
Mhm.
The husband go to work. I think he caught it. I think it was him that caught it.
Mhm.
Kiss her on the mouth, and she didn't catch it.
She didn't catch it,
No,
but he got it,
but he has it.
and he was close to her, kissing her.
Exactly. Like, and
Yeah.
my wife's sister. It went in her. She caught it. Her husband caught it. Her son caught it. And she had 2 young kids that didn't catch it.
Yeah.
The one that they're nursing, and the other one is about 3 years old, 2
Yeah.
years old. He didn't catch it either. But everybody else around him in the house. So
That's
it's weird. It had this like it's weird.
it's strange.
So I stopped taking offices where I maintain them during the day.
Mm.
I have to have a key and a code to get in the building. And if I send somebody,
David here. Okay, are you downstairs? Okay, so just come upstairs, take the elevator to the second floor, and we'll be on the right. Okay, sit down. Yeah, it is. And it doesn't want to go away. That's the thing.
but even with the vaccine, people are still catching. It's a scary part.
That's a scary part.
Even
with the vaccine.
Yeah. So. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like a nightmare, like you can't wake up from.
Yeah.
It really messed us up. If they had to take care of this stuff the right way
The right way.
in the beginning, then it would have fizzled out because
Yeah.
you don't have nobody to ask.
Yeah, yeah.
What do you think about this Shiba coin?
Shiba?
Mhm.
No. You read it? Are you trading it?
I'm not trading, but I have like 50 million coins.
60 billion coins? You know, we don't have the data on those. At some point, hopefully TradeStation will allow for all the data.
Yeah, yeah.
So we only can track the majors,
Okay.
you know, but we can, because Bitcoin is a parameter for all the
Yeah,
coins.
right.
If we track Bitcoin,
Right. You know pretty much.
you know pretty much.
what's going on.
Yeah. So what I do is, like, if Bitcoin gives the buy signal, then I would buy this coin, get a sell signal. It's just the way, but I would like to have the data
Right.
so we can actually have the buy and sell signal for all the coins. But there's so many coins
I
out here
know.
that
Tokens, coins,
yeah.
all kind of crazy.
Yeah. So hopefully at some point we'll get the data for to have the most popular.
You're being I don't know if you know, but it's being traded on Coinbase.
Oh, it's on Coinbase?
It's on
Oh,
Coinbase,
really?
and Apple is going to allow it to be a form of payment.
Oh, really?
Right, this is
know
all the
that.
stuff,
Really?
interesting stuff.
Okay.
Interesting
Hey,
stuff.
David.
Hello.
How are you, sir?
Doing well, thank you. How
Yeah.
you guys doing?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Awesome.
We'll get started in a few, okay?
Yeah, no rush. Just getting the software up and running. Just got home from work. It's so nice to say that.
Okay. Hey, Ron, did you find us? Okay, okay. Okay, perfect. Okay, see you then. Okay, bye-bye.
Hi.
Hey, Ron, how are you? Hey, guys. I'm David.
Hi, David. How are you? Nice to meet you. Oh, boy. Sorry we're late.
Oh, that's fine. So do you trade currently?
Yeah.
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 What do you trade?
Stocks.
Yeah.
Mutual funds.
ETFs? Okay. How long have you been trading?
For years.
For years?
Many years. Not successfully though.
Yeah.
I'm getting there. Little by little. Market sucks. So it's a bad market for me.
You think so? Equities?
Yeah. It's not the right ones.
We'll get started in a few minutes. But thanks for coming.
Sure.
Thanks for coming. And what's your name?
Her name? Brenda.
Linda?
Brenda.
Belinda?
No,
Belinda?
no, Brenda.
Brandon.
Brenda. Hey, Brenda. Where's your accent from?
Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico?
Yes, sir.
Let's go ahead and sign.
So how long you been doing this?
25 years. Long time. Long time. Brandon, do you trade also? Not too much? You're new?
Yeah, she just contacted me because I wanted to
Oh,
show
okay.
her something about trading. So.
We're gonna go over that. It's not easy, is it, Ron?
Well, it was easy last year until the new president came on board
Oh, yeah.
and everything went to shits.
Why do you say that?
Because it did. It became much more volatile. Interest rates started going up, and everybody started getting fears. So what used to be easy money turned out to be more difficult.
What used to be easy money is more difficult?
Yeah.
What time frame do you trade on?
During the day.
During the
Well,
day?
actually, anytime. After hours,
Okay.
3 hours.
Or your, we're gonna lead off. We're gonna lead off with what you said. So your chart, when you the chart that you trade on, do you use like a daily chart or weekly or
Daily,
hourly? And your exits are when?
Depends, varies. Okay. When I see that there's enough profit, I'll take it. If not, I'll just put a trailing stop and let it do its thing.
Okay. We'll get started, okay? So guys, we'll get started. How many years? Since the 90s. You're a veteran.
I wouldn't say that.
You're a veteran at all. So we're gonna do something a little different. Okay. Because I like what you said.
Which part?
With the volatility. Right. So we're gonna pull up a chart here. Let's pull up the S&P. Everything we do is based on this, right? These are the 4 market cycles, right? 4 market cycles. You have one?
Oh,
Yeah. So David, I'm going to share the screen with you.
Okay.
It's the S&P. All right, do you have that?
I do.
Okay. So we're going to focus on stocks. All right, so we're going to focus on the equity markets. Not too much Bitcoin. We are the Bitcoin, right? You guys know that, right? We are the Bitcoin.
Not a Bitcoin.
Are the Bitcoin. You sent me an article, right? Okay, so let's take a look at what. Let's take a look at the equities market. This is the S&P. Did you track the S&P? Did you watch the major indexes?
yeah.
Yeah.
in this software, that's the software that you guys promote.
Yeah. So what happened today? What's the a big thing that happened today in the market, in the S&P? Looking at this chart,
It went down.
it went down. What else happened? I'm glad you mentioned that.
It hit below the 200-day moving average.
It hit below the 200-day moving average, and what else happened? It also broke support.
Right.
Right? So you follow support and resistance? Perfect. Okay. You've been trading for a while. So price broke support. Here is support. Right? Here is resistance. So price came down, broke the moving average, but most importantly, it broke this support here. So we have a sell signal on the S&P. Okay. This happened today on this candle here. So this white arrow is the sell signal. And right here, when it broke that support line, right here is when we got a sell signal to be out of all of the S&P. Right? That's a major warning. You're right. That's a major warning for the equity markets. So we'll look at that's the Dow. That's the Dow. That's the Dow. And here is the S&P. What's going on with the S&P now? David, do you see that, the S&P?
Yep. See a
Okay.
white candle on there.
Okay.
So consolidating.
So that's a change, right? So it went from green to, I mean, that's a perfect, nice upward trend, right? But
Yes.
it's turning. And we can tell it's turning based on the candle, right? So that's a white consolidating candle. All right.
That's what the white means.
That's what the white means, right? And if we look here, here is previous resistance, this yellow line here, which is now support. So going in on Monday, if the price right here, which coincides with that moving average right here, right? So if price breaks this support area here, we'll probably get a red candle and a sell signal. If we get two, so that's the S&P. Let's take a look at the Nasdaq. So here's the Nasdaq. We've got a purple. David, you know what that means? A purple support and resistance?
I believe it's more about caution and potential downward trend.
Exactly. And we're getting what? Lower lows and lower highs, right? So lower lows and lower highs.
So is that in reference to the day's trading, like the price difference?
Not for today, but several days. The big thing here with the Nasdaq is this here. The big thing with the Nasdaq is that it's failing to make new highs, and then we've got support. So we've got previous resistance, which is now support. We have a big down candle here. It failed to move higher, right? So if we get below this area, support here, we'll get a sell signal, white candles, red candles, sell signal to get out. So that's why you're noticing a lot of volatility, but not a lot of upward movement in the markets. Okay. And why this is important is because 80 to 90%, perhaps even higher, of stocks will follow the major indexes. Okay. So we need to track what the major indexes are doing. Okay. But another thing that is critical that we're watching is the Vix Index. So here's the Vix Index, guys. You know about the Vix?
Measure volatility.
Measure of volatility. So you mentioned that, right? Volatility, what, picked up, right?
Well, it's ranging from 19 roughly. I guess it went up to 20.
But remember when you first mentioned, right, there's been volatility, right? So we are starting to see increased volatility in the markets.
And that's where it hit, right around February, March. It went really high. It went to 8.
Yeah, so it went up. It's been stuck, right? So yeah, right at and it's been coming down. But if we look recently, right, the recent weeks, these are weeks there. So this is a weekly time frame, right? So recently we've been getting spikes. What's critical about this? What can we notice just looking at the chart here, the VIX? What happens with VIX, right? As the volatility increases, right? Equities does what? When the volatility goes down, right? Prices increase. So what happened this week?
Looks like we got a white candle.
Because
It's about
the
to
white hand, right? The spike.
about to
Hey, how
change.
you doing? Right? So we've got spikes in the volatility, right? So prices are coming down. But if we do this here, you notice here, the clear support and resistance. Let's do this here. All right. So here is support, right? Here is support. Here is near-term resistance here. All right. Let's do this. All right. So where can we anticipate price will go? So if support is here, resistance is here, if we've got longer term resistance up in this area here, there's the weekly, there's price close right here for the week up in this range here. Where can we anticipate price will go next? And we've got a white candle. Okay.
So volatility should go down.
Volatility should go down.
And the trend is down.
Trend is going down.
It looks like it's going down.
That stick went up. Though. I don't know.
Because we've been consolidating here at the bottom, right?
Yeah.
So those of you knew, but those of you, so what do we get usually after a white candle? So we get a white consolidating candle. Okay, what phase are we in? David, what phase are we in? So look at your charts, guys. Look at your charts.
Mhm.
What phase are we in?
Accumulation.
Accumulation phase, right? Accumulation phase. So look at your second page. This will make sense. Your second page there. So we've got accumulation. Now remember, as volatility increases, what happens to stocks? They go down. What happened to the major indexes? They go what? Down. Okay. Okay, so that's not good for equities, right? So if we're in the accumulation phase, right? Accumulation phase, which is right here, we can anticipate we've got a white candle. Okay, what type of candle do we, if price is moving higher, what color candle do we get after the white candle? Green. Perfect. If it's going up, if price is going the other way down and we testing support, what color candle do we have after the white? Red. Okay, so green bullish candles, white consolidating candles, red bearish candles. Okay, so we're going to be tested. This is important. I'm glad you mentioned this because this is an important area. So if price breaks out of this accumulation phase, okay, currently we've got a sell signal. This red candle is a sell short signal, okay, to take price down. If price gets above this area here, that short signal will close because why? Why will this sell short signal close? David, anyone? Why would the sell short signal close? If we break resistance.
Because now it's gonna give you because now it's giving you a buy signal because of the resistance.
If it breaks resistance, the buyers are in control.
The buyers are in control. Very good. So if it breaks resistance, the sellers are no longer in control. The buyers are in control, right? So if the buyers are in control, if price breaks resistance, we get a green candle. We'll get what type of signal if the buyers are in control? We'll get a buy signal, right? And then what phase will we be in?
Accumulation.
We'll be in the markup phase. The markup phase.
So you're saying in this chart, volatility is going to increase.
Yes.
Volatility,
Yes.
because it's going to go green, which means up, which means these stocks will drop, which is typical in September.
It's happening. I'm seeing it.
Yeah, September is usually a bad month. So
Selling May and go away, right? So usually, and he's right, usually all the crashes that we've had, right? All right, 2001, 2007, 2008, usually happen September, markets usually soft, okay? But we still have to, because we've had years where it didn't happen, right? But historically, and then price in October, price starts to move up again. Right? Notice this here. That's a good question. Okay. If we look here, this is 2008, right? Look at this, right? 2008, that's 9, right? So that's 9, 9, 5, right here, 9/19, so September the 9th. That's when that volatility came in. September. That's right before the crash, 2008. All right, so look what happened. Right, price broke what? Broke resistance, right? Price consolidated for a bit, broke resistance. The higher the move to the upside, the bigger the move in equities to the downside. Okay. The reason there's, if you notice here, right, price gets erratic. It's crazy, right? Because it's volatility. It's not trending. So you mentioned what was your question?
Why is green coming down?
Why is it green coming down? Because there's no, it's just fine. So there's no real consolidation, right? So as a matter of fact, because of the volatility, the wide swings, right? There is support and there is resistance. There is no tight, we don't have a tight consolidation like this. Why?
And what causes it? What makes volatility volatile? Why does it go up and down? Why is it drastic?
Behavior, human, us,
Is that what it is?
fear, fear. A lot of times though, it's
Experienced traders, is that effective?
what's that?
Inexperienced traders? Not everybody trades in some capacity.
Yeah.
We see most people that trade by that.
I think it's everything everything outside of yourself.
Yeah, because more,
So
many people are trading now.
more than
Than
ever before, right? So
Right, more
we're
than
gonna
ever.
see all kind of craziness, right?
Retail traders, GameStop traders.
Right.
I don't know, that's the
People
problem.
with ADHD,
Yeah.
BET, everybody's trading.
Right. It's got an account.
Right. All right. So if we follow this, right? So this is the four market phases that every trader should know. All right. So if we go back to this, right, we can get a better understanding as to what's happening with volatility. Okay.
That's what I understand now when you say that if we trade based on what is like how we feel, we're in trouble.
Yeah, we will.
In trouble.
So you guys have some, you give me some good questions. So what's causing the volatility here? What's causing the volatility? What's happening at the accumulation phase? So let's go over that. What's happening? We know that there's accumulation, right? So in order to trade the markets, we've got to understand what's happening. Who is in control, right, of the markets, and what's really happened, right? So we can anticipate the next move. That's what we're doing. We're anticipating, right, what the big players are going to do in the market. Okay, so at the accumulation phase, what's happening? What's happening at the accumulation phase?
Buyers and coming into the market.
Okay, so at the accumulation phase, right, guys? The big players, so the hedge funds, the big money managers, they're actually accumulating shares.
Fine.
They're buying. Okay, so price did this. So what happens?
They're buying in increments.
So price came from a high to a low, right? So price fell. So The big institutions, so we want to follow what they're doing, right? So they got out somewhere at the top, right? Price fell, and now, so let's say price was here, it was $50, and now it's at $10, right? So they got out at the top, and now they are accumulating shares cheaper at the bottom here. That's why it's called accumulation. So they are accumulating shares right between resistance and support. So they are holding the price. Think of resistance as the ceiling, support as the floor, right? So they keep controlling the price between support and resistance. And they're accumulating shares, blocks of shares, high volume, okay? They're holding it, right? So they might do a 50 stop, because what they will not do is get in with a large amount of shares to push the price up, right? So they'll take several positions, it's at 50,000 each, and they will accumulate right here between support and resistance at the lower price. That's why it's called accumulating. That's the accumulation phase. They're building positions. They're building large blocks of positions. Okay. They're also doing that with volatility, because you can trade volatility. So right now they're building volatility to take it up. Because now they're anticipating that the volatility will go where? Will go where? Higher. So just like they will accumulate stocks here or ETFs or anything, right? You can also accumulate volatility here. Okay. Once the price breaks resistance, the buyers are now in control, right? So the buyers are not now in control. If price breaks support, the sellers are in control, right? So what we should be doing right now is anticipating that the price will break resistance, the buyers will be in control, and now we can take it higher. And then at some point, price will consolidate again. Okay, and what's this phase called? Reaccumulation. Reaccumulation, right? Okay, so right here, reaccumulation. Okay, so we're gonna accumulate again. Price never moves up in a straight line, okay? We know that price never moves up in a straight line, so there's a big test at the end.
It's very advanced.
Yeah, there's a big test at the end.
That's when I drop off.
So price will consolidate again. And then now if price breaks resistance again, okay, we can add it to that position. Okay. However, if price hits support, gets down, hits support, we'll get a sell signal to now close the trade. Okay. So the key is we can do the same thing with volatility, with the volatility index. Okay.
So when you're looking at this, are you looking at this from the point of view of a 5-minute chart, a 1-day chart, a
Good
tick
question.
chart? Because that's where I always wonder.
Good
Yeah, everybody
question.
measures this and this and that, but it changes with depending the magnification you take an equity or any ETF.
Okay. So we follow what the institutions are doing. So they trade on the daily. Okay, so you can trade on a 30, 60, or 4-hour chart. I prefer And we teach on the daily, because that's where, if we take a look at Bitcoin, for example, right? And Bitcoin is a good example. Okay. David, can you see that the Bitcoin chart? You have?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yep.
Okay, so let's take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a good example. That's on a daily time frame. If we trade Bitcoin on a smaller time frame, we're gonna get a lot of noise because it's very volatile. Okay, it's very volatile. Now, if you look here, there was a buy signal on Bitcoin on the break of resistance. This was back in 2020, I think October 2020. And here is support and resistance as price moved up into the reaccumulation phase. We had several reaccumulation phases, right? And then price broke, going to give us a sell signal right here on the break of this support right here. The red candles, right, is the accumulation phase, right? Accumulation phase. Price actually skipped the white candle and give us a green candle buy signal. And then here we just get a sell signal to get out with that red candle here. Okay. This is on a daily time frame. Okay, you can see very clear price movement on the daily time frame. If we trade it on a 15-minute time frame or a 30-minute time frame, can we trade it? Yes. Can we find these patterns? Yes, but it's a lot of noise. Definitely very quick. Okay. You know, traders, most traders, right? And when I started trading, it was the same way for me, right? That, you know, we want to trade on a smaller time frame because we want a quicker return. Okay. The idea is what we want to get to a point. The point we want to get to is where we just want to make a lot of money.
I want to give mine away.
You want to what?
Yeah, I want to give mine away.
You want to give it away? But we don't want to give it to the markets, though.
Nobody wants to lose money. Everybody wants to make money. The question is how much can you make? How, where the key is where to enter, where to exit. And that's the whole thing.
So looking at this chart here, look, this is a daily time frame. This is the hardest thing that we have to teach, is to get traders to trade on the daily time frame. Okay, it's a longer. It takes a while, right? It's more of a position type trading, right? So what can we using this? Because this is our roadmap. Think of the daily as our roadmap, right? And we want a clear understanding of where we're going, right? Clear direction. But we still want to make money. So what can we do here? How can we use the daily time frame to maximize our trading opportunities? So rather than a buy signal here, we buy here and we hold on for almost 8 months and we sell here and then we wait here. Okay, all through this accumulation phase with the buy signal here. So we've got basically 2 trades. What can we do here with this same chart to absolutely maximize our gains?
So at the peaks and line for that.
What else? You guys should know this.
I mean, I'm a little confused with the question. You see the buy signal that comes in, you see the sell signal.
Okay. So how can we maximize? We've got 2 trades, right? So we've got a buy and sell. So the blue arrows are the buy signal, white arrows are the sell signal. Okay, so how can we maximize
add to the positions, if it breaks
Oh.
resistance.
Very
Add to the
good,
positions as it's going up.
very good,
Well, that's what you
very good. So, going back to your question. What we can do is this. So we can take a first position when we break resistance. First position when we break resistance. Every time price gets into the reaccumulation phase, we can add it to our position. Okay? So that way we are building positions. Okay, so we're not just sitting on one position. As the price moves along, every support, every resistance line that it breaks, we are adding to our position.
So my question is, why would I do that if I could just go in? I know the pattern's going up. Why wouldn't I just invest everything on the front end?
You're assuming that we know, right?
Yeah, don't know.
I know,
We're assuming that we know, right?
because it could turn around at any time.
It's
Right.
You add all of that up front.
Right.
And you lose it all.
I see what they-
But if you see where it's going, it breaks resistance, you add to the position, and it's trending up, that's all gains going up.
What else are we doing? When we scale up, we can scale in and scale out. Okay, so we can trade just like we're trading on a smaller time frame, but we're using the larger time frame. Okay. So what else are we doing when we're scaling up? Whose capital are we using?
You use your gains.
We're using our gain. Okay, so we're using the gains, we're using the broker's money, right? So we're using the profits that we've made to now add to the position, right, as it's moving higher. Now we can do the reverse, right? So we can do the reverse. So we can scale up and then we can also scale down. Okay. What's scaling down? If we're buying and we're scaling up and we adding to positions as we
So scaling down is taking out a percentage. Scaling down is taking out a percentage of your share count.
So we're taking profits, right?
Taking profits just in smaller chunks
Smaller chunks.
instead of pulling that all out at once.
Very good. And where would we do that, David? Where would we do that? If we're looking at Bitcoin, right? We're looking at Bitcoin. Where would we do that? Where would we take profits?
The yellow line.
You take your profits when it breaks support.
If we break support, we'll get a sell signal, right?
Yeah.
Resistance.
Oh,
Resistance. Example. The support is on the line.
The support is at the bottom.
That's when you buy. That's when you want to buy. You want to sell at the resistance.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. This is where most traders. I'm so glad you said
Messed
that.
up.
I'm so glad you said that, right? This is perhaps the biggest mistake traders make, right? And I did it for years, right? We sell at resistance, right? And we buy at support, right? Because we think, okay, price has gone up too high, right? It's got to come down. So we sell at resistance, and we buy at support. You don't want to do that. I'm going to show you why. Okay. You don't want to do that.
Dying to hear this.
This is what, listen, now, there's a large percent of the traders, I would say 90% lose money in the market. And it's because of this. Okay. What's happening at resistance? What's happening at resistance? If we break resistance, what's happening? You got new buyers. Okay, you got new buyers coming in. Okay, if we're at support and we break support, what happens?
People are selling.
So you got sellers coming in, shorts are coming in. Okay, so every decision that we make will be right around support and resistance, right? So we got buyers and sellers at resistance, and we've got buyers and sellers at support. If price is getting close to resistance, we want to be looking to buy because the buyers are pushing the price up towards resistance. Right? If we look to get out, here at resistance here, okay, if we look to, we're gonna miss out on this run. Okay.
If there's no yellow line there, the yellow line isn't all the way at the top.
Here,
Second one.
here,
That one, right there. What is that yellow line? What do you call that?
resistance right here.
Right. So there's resistance here and then there's resistance up here. Depends which resistance you're talking about.
Let's do it. Like
So
this.
for example, right here, why wouldn't I sell here? Why would I keep it? I have all this downplay here. Why would I keep it there? Why wouldn't I sell there, wait for the reorganization of the stock, let it drop till it hits its bottom, and then buy back.
What time are you okay? And this is the time
For
for
daily, that's the
The
daily.
daily.
Yeah. Why would I do that? I lost out. If I held it, I lost out on the dip because I held it, or I bought more. So now I'm negative, even more than I was before. Instead of waiting for it to fall down into the valley and get resistance, then buy or support. Sorry, support. But wait till it drops to the support line, whatever the support line.
okay.
So that's why I'm
So
confused. That's right.
okay. So let's okay. So we would buy. Okay, so let's say let's find another chart. Let's find another chart.
I mean, even though it's still, it's dipping, it's still green candles, so the buyers are still in control.
No, and that's okay, but at
It's
some
just
point it
lower.
crests. At some point it says, this is where we exhausted. So now it's gone up as much as it has, it's gone up for the past 3 days. It's gotta regroup, it's gotta reconsolidate itself and then let it drop. And that's, that's when you start to say, well, I gotta get out of here. And wait till it reconciles again, and then you burn it.
when it first breaks, resistance,
But
that's when you buy it. First breaks resistance.
When it
Because-
closes above the resistance.
And then when you start with break resistance, now you're gonna use support and resistance. Now, in between there, now if it breaks, you know the sell if it breaks the new support. And if it doesn't break new support, it's gonna keep going up.
Yeah.
And then when it breaks a new resistance again, then you add again. You understand?
So basically, when you break resistance, that resistance line now becomes support. And now there's a new
Okay.
resistance. So every time it breaks resistance,
Can you hear us, David?
Now, usually when it
Yeah.
first breaks resistance, that means the stocks are gonna start going up. That's usually how it goes. The trend is gonna be going up. Like you want to look at the trend. The trend is going up.
Yeah.
So it breaks that resistance. First time when it finally breaks there, that's when I'm giving advice.
but But I think he's talking more about the swings,
Okay,
like
okay,
as far as even though it's still a buy signal, I
okay,
mean.
okay, let me go, okay. Sorry,
Right.
great,
No, this is good.
great
This is
question,
good.
right?
Good stuff.
All right, great question. Okay, so we want to change the way, and I know exactly what you're saying. Okay, because what you're saying is, right? Okay, so price is moving higher, it hit a high here. Why wouldn't I? Because price could go back to support, right? Why wouldn't I get out here, take profits, and then wait until price gets to support here to get back in? We don't know. Okay, we do not know if price will do.
But is it that usually the pattern, once it hits a high for the day, like an intraday high, I get a lot of that. Because I use TD Ameritrade, and it'll show you, boom, it hit a high. So typically the reaction after that, people start to get a little nervous and they say, oh crap, it went too high too fast. It drops. Not always a lot. Sometimes it drops a little bit and then goes back to another high. And you keep going with it. But it can only do that so many times until it says, that's it. It hit too high. It met the options that somebody was seeking, because that's another driver. Somebody's seeking a certain price market for the options that they're trading, and they satisfy the options, so they're all out. So they all bail. They all get out. They got their options price, and they just dump the stock. There's no tomorrow, and it just goes boom. It goes red down, and just one bar after the other bar.
Go to lunch, right?
And then you're like holding the bag, and you're like, what the hell?
Yeah, I think you're holding the bag if you don't have the information to support you, to give you the edge. You know, something that you had said was that you mentioned fear, right? And we know that a lot of people trade on fear. But I can tell you that by having the charts and being able to learn and understand it, I can now take the fear out of it, and I'm making trades based on information, based on data.
Okay.
And when I start to see a stock like this one here, the Dow Jones, and it keeps bouncing down from resistance, that's telling me that it may not have enough gusto or enough support from buyers to break through. So that could be a good opportunity to sell. And then if it's hanging around support, then I might jump back in. Now, the benefit to doing something like that is you have some profits, right? So if you take those profits and you buy more shares at the support and it does go back up, you know, you're in and out, which I think is tricky as well. But I think that's where we're talking about being able to take your profits. Along with some losses will happen, but by having the data, by understanding the charts and the bars, it's really helped me to take the fear out of my trading.
So you have AMC there.
Yeah, AMC.
The chart
So
AMC.
yeah, so let's talk about still got.
Okay. Well, no, but I appreciate what he's saying on the line. I'm just trying to figure out what that means.
Okay. There are two things that are happening. Okay, we're getting ahead. Okay, so think of the daily time frame as that's our trade. That's our trade. Okay, within the trade we can kind of scalp, let's say. Okay, within the trade we can kind of take profits, but the actual trade, okay, is between support and resistance. So if you look here, so we can't, because what as traders, what we'll do all the time, a lot of times that David's talking about is the trade is happening, but because of all of our emotions, right? We buy here, we get out here, right? There's no real reason, right? The trade, the real trade is here. So we're gonna buy here on the break of resistance. We're gonna sell here on the break of support. We buy because who is in control? The buyers. And we know that why? We know that the buyers are in control because of what? It broke resistance. And then here we exit the trade because why? Because price broke support. Who is in control? So the sellers, then we out. That's it. That's the meat of our trade. We're gonna buy here. We're never gonna catch the top.
Right.
We're never gonna catch
No, I
the
got
top.
you, I got you.
And we're never gonna catch the bottom. But between the meat of the trade, there's some things that we can do now. We can scale, we can scale. We can scale up and we can scale down. But understand that, and this is critical. This is why this is 4 market phases that every trader must know. And we need to understand what phase that we're in. Okay, so the first phase is what? Accumulation. And accumulation always starts at the bottom left of our chart. Okay, so prices consolidating. All the big money traders are accumulating. Price is going to move higher if we're lucky. If price fails, hit support, we're out. You want to take small losses. Okay? The goal in trading, guys, is this. It's a numbers game. It's a numbers game. So we can have 1 to 10 trades, right? All losing trades, and we can have 1 trade that's a winning trade, and this trade, if we cut
Over the
our
losses.
exactly, so we want to cut our losses, small losses, big win. That book here is a good book. The other one, Trend Following, right? I recommend this book, Trend Following, right, by Michael Cobo. So we want to that's our goal. Right, we want to capture the big trends, okay? So we want to cut our losing trades quickly, okay? Get out quickly, stay in the big trends to capture the meat of our trade because we need the trend to pay for our losses. Everything is done between support and resistance, right? So with prices consolidating, if we break resistance, we're gonna buy, but it doesn't always turn into a trend, right? So if price comes back in to here, what's this area called? Accumulation, and breaks support, we're going to do what? Get a sell signal to get out. So we can do this over and over and over. Take small losses. If it does turn into a trend, then guess what? We will take these profits and take over losing trades. Okay. The reason why we don't want to buy, sell at resistance and buy here. If we understand what's happening, right? And if you understand where we are in the trend, we don't want to sell at resistance because guess what? We understand that what? There's new money coming into the market. Okay, there is new money coming into the market. There is new money coming into the market. There is new money coming into the market. The only time we need to be concerned is when price hits support, and now we would have to get out. Okay, so the thought process is this: every single time price hits resistance, you want to be buying. That's very different than most traders, right? They want to be selling. Every time price hits support, we don't want to be buying. We want to be selling. Can we get lucky? We absolutely can get lucky, right? We can absolutely get lucky. So price is consolidating, hits support, right? We can certainly buy here. And what most traders will do is this. So most traders say, okay, it's gonna hit support. I'm gonna buy here, and then I'm gonna put a stop loss. Okay, I'm gonna put a stop loss right here. Okay, so they're gonna put a buy here, right here, put a stop loss here, hoping to get this gain here. And they're gonna sell here at resistance, right? Right. They're gonna buy at support, sell at resistance. This is not trading. This is not trading. Because all we're doing, guys, is this. And we do this all the time, right? We're trying to get nickels and pennies. Here, when this is what we want this. We can't trade the accumulation here. Okay, this area here, support and resistance, this is the most difficult area with the support and resistance is not an area to trade. You can't trade through here. Understand this. You can't make money. You make money when price breaks out. So our job is to anticipate the breakouts and capture these moves here. Where we manage the trade is between here and here and here. So that the trade doesn't get away from us. Does this make sense? Mm-hmm. Meaning this, if we buy here, hello, David. Yes. Okay, I'll be right there. 1 second.
You're basically catching the trends.
No, I got you.
Small losses.
I'm just trying to figure it out on a daily basis. Cool. No, what I was trying to figure out is, all right, you get the trend, you know what's going, but where's the entry? That's it. So all that markup, all that run up, step on that. Just wait for the
Yeah, that's the only thing we trade on is the resistance and the support, because in the middle, that's all the banks.
Got
Yeah, that's where they make their money. So we try to go against them. Algorithms, all kinds of stuff traded there. So it's a lot in there. And anything outside of that, you're chasing everything all over the place.
Fred?
How long have you guys been doing this?
I've been here over a month already, I believe. Over a month.
Does he do the same class or does he change what?
I've learned different things every time.
Yeah.
But I think I'm the one.
But we always learn something more.
What are you trading?
Nothing coming every 3 weeks since I've started.
Oh,
And I've always learned
Six
something.
night there.
Hey, everybody.
Hi. Somebody turn down the air, raise the air.
Raising it.
It's cold.
It's cold. You cold?
I'm
It's usually not.
Jesus, you
You're, look at you. You are cold. So they've left,
Oh, no,
they,
no.
yeah, the offices, they've left.
Oh, I got you.
We won't be, we probably have another 20 minutes or so.
Okay.
But I want us to get this, okay?
Dave,
Yes,
I do have to drop off. I just
Okay.
want to say thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.
okay, David. Okay, take care. Have a good weekend.
You too.
Okay.
Take care, everyone.
There, bye.
Any questions? Any questions?
So, for example, AMC, this is up to today's chart.
This is today's, yes.
So the last candle is showing it's getting a lot of resistance to the upside. But it broke resistance, so is that a signal of some sort now? That it's gonna go back down? Yeah, the last one.
It's right here.
Surprise.
So that's a buy signal.
You see it came in, but you notice it just got that yellow on it.
Yeah, so that means now is the time to buy.
That's what, that's what that first line, that's what the buy signal comes
And then that's the signal, I think the signal is right there. Well, actually, the signal was before that.
Before that, yeah.
in. No,
Like
the signal.
2 days before. Or the wick of the candle went over the yellow,
Yeah, as soon as it went over the yellow,
that was the buy signal.
that was the buy signal. And then
Just a
every
little
time it
bit
goes
more.
over the next, yellow lines, that's when you, that's the reaccumulation phase. That's when you start throwing in more money.
Yeah. So it is September 8th, 49, 46.
What is the AMC, the buy signal came yesterday, right?
No, that's 2 days ago.
No, 2 days.
So September 8th. So September 8th was the buy signal. It kind of wobbled around there, stayed around 46.23 on September 9th. It started low and then it worked its way up through today, and then it started going down. But everything went down. So
It's
the
still
question is that now, if I'm reading this chart correctly, is it still worth going in? Or is it risky to go in now? Because it's already gone 2 candlesticks after the resistance.
I would still go in.
Yeah.
It's been some beginning.
So let's take a look at this. We always have to go back to this, okay? When we look at the charts, guys, this is like your roadmap. Every single, whether it's Forex, equity, it's gonna follow this. Okay, so there is resistance here. Here is support. We'll call this support right here. Okay. So what phase are we in now?
Accumulation.
Reaccumulation. So we're in the markup phase. So we're in the markup phase, but within the markup phase, we're in the reaccumulation phase. Okay. The next phase is distribution. Okay. From distribution, we go to the markdown phase, right? And as we break new support levels, we go into the redistribution phase. Okay, we've got to understand that. Okay, from there, price will cycle again and go into what phase? Accumulation. Very good. Which is on your third page. Why this is important to know this, okay? So that we're not selling when we should be buying. And we shouldn't be buying when we should be selling. Okay? So this will split the market for us. So what phase are we in here? Markup phase. Why are we in the markup phase? Why is this the markup phase? It's trending up. How do we know it's a trend? Where did we start? Where did we start with price? So if we look here, guys, if we look here, this was accumulation right here, right? Accumulation right here. Price is moving higher. Right, it's trending up, right? And now we are right here on the reaccumulation phase. On the reaccumulation phase. This is why we've got a buy signal here. If we had a sell signal here, let's say here, price held support here and now kept going down, what phase would we be? The markdown phase. If we got to sell this. If Bitcoin gives a sell signal here, what phase will be? Distribution. Whenever price breaks support. Okay, whenever price breaks support at a high, that's the distribution phase. Okay. That's the distribution phase. Here is the distribution phase.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, this chart's better. It's clearer on this one.
Yeah. That's the distribution phase there. Okay. So AMC is clearly in the reaccumulation phase, right? I want to do something here. What phase is this?
Accumulation.
So what would we be doing here? What would we do here?
Buying. Well, we wait till it hits
Right.
resistance.
Very good. We wait. We wait. What phase is this here?
Marking up.
Markup. Very good. Markup. Very good. What phase is this here?
This is, reaccumulation.
Why is it reaccumulation?
Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. No, it's distribution. So the resistance.
Take a look at it. What phase is this in? Distribution? You see distribution?
Well, yeah, because it hit the resistance line. And
It's marked up, right? It's not distribution. So it has a buy signal. So guys, the idea, listen, the idea here is this.
I'm somewhere here, so you're saying this is still
Yes,
reaccumulation here?
So you
When does it
broke,
become distribution?
when it breaks support, and then we have further confirmation by the candles. We'll have red candles, wide red candles. Just think green candles up, right? Trending up, green candles right here. Red candles, distribution selling. The purpose of this is this, right? Why this is critical, all of this, is so that we can focus on just making money. Unwise that. If it's green, guys, if it's green,
We wasting my time.
forget about the bills and everything we want to buy, right?
Because I like colors.
It's like,
Forget about, listen. There's a lot going on with the markets, right?
All the time.
All the time, right? And we can get very emotional. We want to be just executing the trades, right? In buying, right? So if we know that we're in the market phase, we're in the reaccumulation phase, our mindset should be buying. Most traders, this is what they do, right? Price is moving like this, and they're selling, they're buying, they're selling, they're buying, they're selling, they're buying. We can't do that, right? So the purpose of the market phase is this, right? Here is our buying zone in the market phase. Okay, here is the no man's land. Nothing is happening here. This is the distribution phase. And then we're gonna go into the markdown phase. If we're on this side and everything we're looking for, all the stocks we're looking for, we're on this side, guess what? We can put capital to work and we can make money and we can stay away. Once it gets into this phase here, we're out. We're out. At some point, they'll get back into the accumulation phase and we'll get in. So most traders, right? They might have 5 stocks. They have Apple and all these stocks, right? And it's in this phase here, and they're still trying to trade. It's in the markdown phase. We've seen that, right? It's in the markdown phase.
So no matter how good the news is, no matter how great the earnings are, it's gonna go down. It's so funny, you hear that all the time. You're watching CNBC and they're like, we don't know why it's down today. It should be up. Earnings came out great, beautiful, but it's going down. So you're saying those things are not affected.
that's why you gotta trade based on the information that you get from the chart.
Wow.
If you follow all those other things, like we said,
But sometimes the news does help on some of
they're
it.
full of it.
Sometimes like space, for example.
Okay,
Surging electric.
so
That's a good example.
price is moving it's in the market phase because there's good news. Think of it like this, right? If it's in the market phase and price is moving higher, there's good news. That's what's causing price to move.
So they have to coincide.
But we usually look at news first
Right,
and then apply the.
right,
Let's do the reverse.
That's emotion.
right.
Let's use the price action first and then perhaps get the news to confirm, right?
I'll buy them the rumor or sell them the news. That's like saying that.
You have to be careful here in this market. Because this is not trading. I want you guys to understand this. There's a game happening here. Okay? There's a game happening here. The big hedge funds, the big money managers, they're accumulating here. We've got to do what they do. We've got to trade on the time frame that they trade on. They trade on the daily time frame. We've got to trade on the daily time frame. Okay, so they are accumulating. Follow me. They start here and they are accumulating. They're buying, buying, buying in small blocks. They want no one to know that they're buying. Okay, that's why this is called accumulation. Okay. At some point, they're going to say, okay, we're ready to go. And then they're going to break resistance. We, as retail traders, we can't manipulate the market. We don't have enough capital. Okay. So at some point, they will break resistance. We'll get a buy signal here. They'll move price higher.
Because they have their position already.
Right. Change.
They're building. At some point, since price doesn't move in a straight line, price, just think of this as a runner, right? You're gonna run and then you're gonna rest. So the price will rest here, okay? And then they'll accumulate more. If they give up, right, we'll get a sell signal and we'll have to get out. That means that they're done for now. That's what happened with AMC. Okay? However, if price breaks resistance, we'll have, then now they're back in, they're moving higher again, we'll continue to buy more. At some point, price will hit a high where it no longer goes higher. And we'll see that in our charts. Okay, that's not a good. We'll see that in a chart where we no longer, price is no longer making higher highs. Once price comes down, hits support. Once it fails to move any higher, it hits support. Those institutions are out. They're done. Listen, they're done. They're dumping shares. Or shorting. But most of the time they're dumping. There are very few firms that are expert in shorting. They usually just get out. Because why? Because they've made their money. Right? They've done the meat of the trade. Right? They've done the meat of the trade, right? They're out. And once they're out, they're out. So what we'll notice is this, right? So we have nice steady steady climbs here, right? Nice steady rises, right? That's where the money's made. Here, when they're done, they're done. So we'll see the price go what? Die. If we're lucky, we'll get a redistribution. Because they're just dumping shares. They're out. The trade is over. This is the trade here. That's why we don't short. You can't make any money doing this. Not consistently. You got to be really damn good to catch this. And it's risky. This is nice, steady climbs. Nice, steady climbs. If price is lucky to do this, hold, and then move up again, now we can get a nice reaccumulation. Make sense?
Things and something else.
Well, it's their game.
It matters. Hell,
It's
everybody's in
their
the same
game.
now.
Yeah. Throwing them off.
It's their game. So it's not our game, it's their game. So we've got to understand the game that we're in. So let's take a look here. And what's happening here? Accumulation. So we should be waiting for what? A break of resistance to get a buy signal. Very good. How about here? We're in the markup, but we're at a critical point. Why is that? It's down, but it's trading below. It didn't. We got a buy signal because it broke resistance, but guess what? It came back in and now it's trading between support and resistance. So what would we do here? Wait. If it breaks support, we would get a sell signal. Okay. What happens a lot is this, right? Traders would get, if they're lucky. If they're lucky and they got in here, right, they will get out. And what happens a lot here is that the banks are not ready. They'll continue to accumulate. What phase are we in here?
That looks like distribution. Yeah, man.
It's crazy, right?
What phase? So what phase are we in?
Distribution.
You gotta call the banks.
Where do you see distribution?
I don't know. I mean, it's
So, accumulation.
reaccumulation.
What do you wanna?
So it's in markup. Markup.
Well, reaccumulation.
Skip markup. It's just like-
Reaccumulation means we're consolidating. Reaccumulation is that we've moved up and now we're consolidating, getting ready to move up. Or we have broken resistance and now we're up. So there's no, we've passed this. This was reaccumulation, right?
Yeah.
So now, so this is good. This is a good point here. So because it's all about anticipating, right? We're anticipating the next move, the next phase. So what can we anticipate price will do next? Down. Why would it not go down? Why would it not go down? Why would it not go down? It's in the markup phase. Okay. Only when it's in the what phase? Distribution phase can we anticipate that it will go down. This is very important. You know, this is why it's important to know which phase that it's in. Yeah, because it's in the markup phase, right? So what can we anticipate that price will do next?
Increase.
Increase, but as far as the phase,
Oh, eventually. It'll distribute.
okay. But what has to happen first? What?
Just to hit resistance.
Has to,
It has to hit a resistance, right? It has to make a resistance. So it has to stop. It has to do what? When it hits a resistance, what's price doing? Take a what? Take a rest, consolidating. So now we can anticipate that price will what? Consolidate. So there's nothing to do. Wait. And that's the biggest traders, we don't like to wait. We don't want to wait.
Crazy, right?
But when we know what's happening with price,
Right. And you know.
then we know, okay, yes, there is nothing to do. So price could move up and down here, and rather than getting out, we just wait. We just wait. We just wait. For it to do what?
Someone.
For So if we're right here, we're waiting, you guys said it earlier, we're waiting for what? We're waiting for what? We're waiting for what? It's forcing us to be patient because we're waiting for what to happen here. It's price spike, it's spike,
Mark
right?
down, mark down. So,
But what? What are we waiting for? The what?
The white line. So it's south.
What are we waiting for? I'm gonna wait until you guys get it. We're gonna be here for a couple of days. What are we waiting for?
For the resistance and the
Support.
support to be
Support and
marked.
resistance. Support and resistance, which tells us that price has stopped.
Now.
If price keeps moving higher and we do not get a support and resistance line, what do we do?
But right now, can't you say there's resistance? Can't you plot a line now? How many days do you have to wait to be able to plot the lines?
So with resistance, we need so what's resistance? What's support and what's happening when price gives support and resistance? Okay. So what's happening when price gives us a support and resistance? What's happening with price? It's what? It's consolidating, right? So it's consolidating. So we want at least 3 touches here.
Oh, okay.
3 touches here.
So that's your line. That's your witness.
So if you notice here,
That's the key. So there's only one on the top, so you can't go off of that. So you gotta wait for another one to get close or.
so
top
as
down.
long as, see, what's happening is with prices, right? And it's not random. Okay, so we've got to have basically a ceiling where price is not and going higher. Right. Okay, but we also have to have the floor where price doesn't go. Okay, only then can we have resistance and then support coming.
So right there under the reaccumulation, you don't have 3 lines. So how
I
do
knew
you,
that one was coming.
so how do you
You knew
tell-
that was coming?
Oh, yeah, yes.
Oh my goodness.
This is
This
good.
is why.
Hey,
You coming to-
I need to understand this.
Oh my goodness. Okay, let's see here.
Very good questions.
Put the jacket.
Okay. Good question.
Yeah, this is good.
Okay, so if we, so,
Learning something new.
okay. So we've got to go back in history. Just because it's not on the immediate, always trust your support and resistance. Okay, because there's a past history where there was support and resistance. Okay, so let's take a look at that. I love this. My son just came home. He just graduated from FSU. I've got 2 boys at FSU. And he brought this one like this home. It's a white one. He's like, Dad, this is so cool. He's like, man, this keeps my water cold. So I went out and I bought one. This is larger than this. This is a 40. It's got a 32. It's a 40 ounce. And this looks really great. Then my wife started using it. Put her mouth on it. I said, no. So I got her one. So this is cool.
Yeah, is it hers?
This is so cool.
Too much
Too much information. All right.
That's something I would do.
All right, so if we look here, you guys have great questions. Okay. So if you look here, and it's not an exact science, but if you look here, this is the last time we had clusters. Okay, so we had support and resistance. Okay, so here, see here, see here. Yeah. Let's think of support and resistance as a cluster where prices kind of gathering, where there's a battle, right? There's a battle between buyers and sellers. There's a battle between buyers and sellers. Okay, so here was a battle between buyers and sellers. Who won?
Buyers.
The buyers. Okay, it's not going to be perfect. I mean, you're going to have, all we want to see are clusters. The system here will measure just cluster of price. Okay, but we know here was the last time price made a high, right in this area here. And guess what? What happened after that? It dropped. And what phase is that? Markdown distribution, right? Right here. Okay. So if we're here, right? Now we're no man's land. I mean, anything can happen here, right? So let's go back. Let's go back. Let's see if we have more data here. Okay, so we'll be done at 7. Let's go back. Oh, look at this. That's a beauty here. Okay. Go back even more. Let's go back 20 years. Okay, that's the same thing. Okay. So where do we have an area of where we might get some resistance? Right here. Right here. Where could we get some? Where could price go to next? Because we've cleared this zone here. This was a major zone, guys. Look at this. That was a major zone here, right? So do you think that the big investors are watching these levels? They're watching these levels, right? So here is the all-time high here for this stock here. Right? Okay, so it's at 550 now. It's at 429. The high is at 550. Right? Okay, so we've got the support right now is right here. Here's the support right here. Okay, so here is support. Here is resistance. Let's clear this out. We don't need this anymore. Okay, so here is our support and resistance. And all we're doing is we're going off our previous support and resistance here because we don't have any.
What happened in between the green candles on the bottom and the one on the top? What happened in that space?
Okay, so this is a week. This is just a week here. So this is the movement in the price. So price for the day price made a high here and then a low here, but then this is where it closed.
But you're saying there's a jump, you're saying that there's a gap. is what
Yeah,
you're talking about.
yeah.
Probably because after our trading, just popped it up the next day, no? Is that what it could be?
That's what threw me off. I'm like,
Yeah, just a drastic move, all right?
So what could we anticipate here? I'm gonna go back to that question. Because this could be a great trade, guys. But we would mess it up as traders. If we were lucky enough to get into this trade, we wouldn't stay. If we were lucky enough to make money, we would take those profits and get out. But this is a great trade. So what
Looks like it may be going into distribution.
there are two scenarios. What's the likely scenario? That would be the all-time high again. And why? Why? Based on the chart, why? It's been there before, but what else? We have to, when we trading, guys, we have to be in the moment. In the moment. What's happening right now? Because a lot of times we'll say, okay, this could happen, right? When be in the moment, what's happening right now?
Market phase.
We're in the markup phase,
green candles.
green candles. So we just want to hold, right? As a matter of fact, if I'm aggressive, right? If I'm aggressive and it's holding, I'm seeing that these candles are kind of moving higher. I might build upon this. And when it gets to this here and it's holding at the all-time, if this is the all-time high and it gets close to this here, guess what? I'm going in big. I might go in real big. Because understand, and we've got 15 more minutes. Understand that this price, this comes down. All of these here are barriers for price. All this area here are barriers for price. These are obstacles, okay, that will keep price from going higher. Once we clear this zone, let's think of it as a ship. We're out to sea. Anything can happen. Once we clear the high of anything, it's over. There's no more resistance. There's nothing in the way. That's why the markets now are making all-time highs. They're making, because there isn't a price where it's been before. Understand? So like Bitcoin, if Bitcoin is able to get above 65,000, it's over. I mean, it could go to 100,000 pretty quickly. Okay? Because there's no support and resistance to keep the price down. Same thing for the reverse. If price broke, let's say for instance, we have to watch these levels. If price came down, let's say price was at $50, came down right here, and now it's at $40, okay? And it hasn't been let's say it's an IPO, opened at 40, IPO, got up to, let's say 100. got up to 100, right? So it got up to 100. Okay, it opened at 40. Let's say price comes back down, breaks this support, it's down. We could see this go rather than 40, it can go to 4 quickly, because there's nothing down in this area to support. Okay, so this is an absolutely great trade. Okay, and the way that it's gapping up, so it's gapping up, it's spiking up. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money, a lot of volume. Okay. High is 6. That's the highest it's been. So if it gets above that, watch out. It can go to 40. So what can happen to Bitcoin? Where can Bitcoin go from here? So we got out, right? We got out, right? We got out about, I think it was Monday or Tuesday, right? So we got out right at about 47, 48. And right now it is at 44,000. So what's the next level for Bitcoin? Where's the next level for Bitcoin? Not based on what we think. Distribution, right?
It's very, very quick distribution. If it hits the red line, it's a sign of markdown phase.
Markdown phase. And what type of candle do we need? To help us visualize red. So red candle, right? And then where is support?
What is that? Yellow. Oh, that one.
So here is support right here, guys. Okay, so here is support, near-term support. It already broke this support. So we got this support here. The next support is right here. It's at 42. At 42. So you know there are folks in Bitcoin right now. You know that.
It's trading right now.
So which side would we rather be? I just want you guys,
On the fence?
I just want you guys to really think about this, right? I want you guys to think about this. Which side do you want to be on? Because, you know, there were people that bought Bitcoin at 60,000. I just really, really want you guys to think about this. If it's your money, it's your hard-earned money, right? And you're in Bitcoin, let's just say you're at 60,000, you bought at 60,000, and you don't know which phase that you're in. And right now, Bitcoin is at 44,000. It's down $1,700 for the day. Okay. I want you to feel that pain, because that's your money. And now, as traders, we know that we no longer have green candles. We're getting into the distribution phase. We've got white candles, and we know that red candles will follow this because we are moving down. We've got support here. We know that if we break this support, that's not good. And that price will dive to the next support here, which is 36,000
How did you line the last support line? Line based on what?
right here,
Oh, okay.
right here. And then if we go back in history, and then the next big support is 30,000, which is right here.
What's so crazy is this thing was just at 61,000. That's crazy.
And our traders, we got out here. So we got out here, we got out around 52, right? We waited, right, guys? We waited, right? We said we waited for all of this, got back in. We actually got in a little earlier than this. We got in on the forward chart, okay, at 37,000. And then we got out right in here, okay? There is a good chance, based on the price action here, that we could get back into this area here. If we get back into this area here, right? If we get into this area, it might be over. We might see a big move down.
Even though they're thinking that next year they'll reach 100,000.
Because what this means is this. It would mean that here the shorts fail, the buyers won. If it gets back into this area here, okay, we might just give up. Okay, they might say, hey, this is our chance to just take what we our profits and just what we just do that. It's a psychological game. And all the buyers are saying, okay, at some point they're going to give up. At some point they're going to give up. So if price gets to this support here, and this is a big support, this is a big support here. If price gets, I say if it gets anywhere in the bottom of near this support here, then we could see Bitcoin go down to probably 4,000, which is good for us. The lower it goes, the better it is for us. I hope it goes to 0. Because then we can get it back, we can buy it all the way here. And it shows that, hey, they're done selling it. Buy low, sell high, right? They're done selling it. We see that buying is coming back in, and now we'll get back in. I hope it tanks.
Being that it cleared all those positions, you'll be able to go back in the other direction as well.
Very fast. But it's having a very tough time. So if we look at price now, what we noticing is this. Let's move this away.
Yeah.
It happens quickly, guys.
Is that what you're projecting? Yeah, based on the highs, the peaks?
This was important, right? So let me show you guys. This I'll show you guys. Okay, this is the upward trend here. Okay, Bitcoin needed to stay above. It really needed to stay in this area in here. Okay. If it gets down in this area, which I think it will, okay, in this area, and it tests this area in here. This is the upward trend line, right? So if it gets in here, breaks this trend line, which is near this support here, it's done. It's done. The only hope that Bitcoin has right now is if it can hold this area in here, and then perhaps break to the upside. But if it gets any way down in this area in here, yeah, we're gonna see. That's my opinion. It's just an opinion. It can change. So next week we can get buying come in, breaks this resistance here, and guess what? Gives a buy signal, and guess what? We're buying again. Okay.
Is Ethereum more stable than this?
Look, you guys are making it work.
Sorry.
All right, let's see
Make good use of the time.
here. Yeah,
That last minute that we have.
let's see here. Okay, Ethereum. Okay, so here's Ethereum. So same thing is happening with Ethereum. It hasn't given a sell signal yet. Okay, but we would be out.
Similar pattern.
Similar pattern here. And just know that Bitcoin, especially, is a barometer for the entire crypto market. Okay, so if Bitcoin is going down, the rest of the cryptos will go down. Okay. So when Bitcoin gives a sell signal like this, we really should be out of crypto. Same thing for the S&P, the Nasdaq, the Dow. Those are set indexes. Those are barometers for the entire stock market. For Forex, it's the dollar index.
If the dollar's going down, does crypto tend to do the opposite as a reaction to the?
There is
Is there a barometer there?
not yet. Let's take a look at the dollar right here. Okay, here's the dollar right here, but it's not. I haven't seen that to be an exact. Yeah. Not exactly.
Not that
yet.
close.
Yeah. Let's see here. But the VIX, like I said, the VIX is critical. We want it for those of you who trade stocks. That VIX index, if it breaks resistance, we get a buy signal. We already see a sell signal in the S&P. The S&P has a sell signal. Not the S&P, the Dow. The Dow has a sell signal right here. This is not good. It's not good. It broke support. We've got a red candle. So that's not good.
That happened in the last few hours of trading.
So that's not good. What is a barometer is this though. Bitcoin will follow the equity market. So if stocks come down, if the Dow is, Bitcoin will come down. Okay. Bitcoin will come down.
always thought that crypto minus, aside from stocks, like, you know, like it was in a whole different. That's what you're saying.
Even silver, if we look here. So what we have to, this is silver, gold. What we have to understand is this, right? So money has to flow somewhere. Okay, money has to flow somewhere. So it goes from one market to the next. Our stock market, okay, our stock market, Bitcoin is kind of in it. The only thing that's not in it is Forex. Okay, is the Forex market. And the Forex market is really driven by the dollar. Okay, so for several years, we haven't had really good trends in Forex because of the dollar really hasn't had a lot of movement. So if we look at the dollar here, and I promise I'll end on this here. So if we look at the dollar here, because a lot of Forex traders say, man, I'm frustrated, you know, because if you look here, back since 2014 to now, the dollar index right here on the monthly time frame, right, has consolidated, guys. Look at this. It hasn't changed. So it's stuck. Look, since 2014, it's stuck within this consolidation, between resistance and support. Okay, so what's been happening is this. All of the money have been going into what? Into what? Where's the money been going? If it hasn't been going in Forex, so if we take a look at, and this is just big picture stuff that we can, you know, that helps us get a little sharper, right? So let's take a look at the Dow, the same chart, the Dow, look at the Dow on the monthly time. The S&P, right? Look at this. Look at this right here compared to this right here. Big difference. Big difference. But the reverse will happen. Okay, so as when the stock market comes down, guess what? What happens to this market? What do you think happens to this market? So if money is coming away from our market, where would that money go? It has to go somewhere, right? Okay. There's the Dow monthly. There is the dollar on the monthly. Since 2000, follow me, since 2014, okay, price has been trending up in the equity markets. All right. Since 2014, the dollar has been consolidating. So the reverse will happen. If equities come down, okay, if equities come down, we'll see the Forex market. But there's no volatility in Forex right now. We need volatility. We need high volatility in Forex, low volatility in stocks. When stocks get high volatility, okay, when stocks get high volatility, okay, that causes Forex to move.
But which direction?
It doesn't matter.
No,
We don't care.
It can go down.
We don't care. We just want movement.
Right.
We just want movement. Okay. So we should be really in stocks right now. Stocks, unless we get a sell signal and we want to be out. But for the last several years, we've been in stocks. Okay. Anything else? You guys made me work today.
That was good. Good, we wanted you to sweat a little.
My goodness. You don't have it. You don't need it. I send out all the alerts. I send out alerts. I send out alerts.
Oh,
Text alerts.
I get it.
You just want to have it. All right.
I never learned about it.
It's the DX dollar, DXY.
Dollar,
Right? I think
DXY.
it's in your platform. I think you can
It's
pull it
enough,
up.
right?
What's that?
No, I'm telling you, it's good to know.
Yeah, you want-
Dollar DXY.
Chart.
You know anything about the US?
So-
USD. What about it?
They're saying it's like directly corresponds with fiat.
2.6.
It's crazy.
So basically, now I know that. Oh, this thing is decided.
There's always a correlation. Just like,
I think it's connected.
yeah, it's all connected, okay? Just like now, we're in the key repairs. So we're out of the dollar pairs. We're basically out of the euro pairs. And we're really in the Kiwi. So if you look here, that's where all the money is going. It's blue, right? Blue up, right? So the Aussie pairs, the New Zealand Kiwi pairs, and the yen pairs, that's what's trending right now to the upside. Okay, the dollar pairs, they're down, so we should not be in those. Okay, the euro pairs, they're down.
Unless you're short.
Unless you're shorting it. Okay, unless you're shorting it. So there's a correlation. So we just want to pull the trigger, guys. Because if we really want to make a lot of money, we can't be doing a lot of research. We just want to put capital to work. Okay, we want to process the systems. Want to say, okay, hey, here is where the money is going right now. That's where it's going. That's where it's not in. This, what phase would this be? What phase is this? Mark down. Yeah, mark down phase. We should. What phase is this?
Mark up.
Easy.
Easy money.
Right?
She's like, what the?
It's
hell?
easy. It's easy.
I'll be millionaires by tomorrow.
It's
Right.
easy. It's easy. So that book, there are two books I'm going to recommend. Trend Following,
Well,
okay, and then Trading in the Zone. Okay, Trading in the Zone. Trading in the Zone goes over the mindset, right? It's all about our mindset. And then Trend Following is based on how we trade. That book in particular, Trend Following, is written by a guy named Michael Koval. And what he did was, he wanted to figure out where the money was going, right? Where the real money was going. So he found a group of traders. That were consistently winning in the markets, okay? And those traders are called trend followers. That book changed my life. 15 years ago. Okay, we started the company 10 years ago. Okay, but that book changed my life. So what Michael noticed was this, that there were a group of traders, so when markets are crashing, these traders made money consistently in the market. They're called trend followers. What's unique about the trend followers is that they use automated trading systems. okay? Automated trading systems to give them signals on when to buy and when to sell without any of the emotions. Okay? One of the most famous trend followers is Johnny Henry. You guys know Johnny Henry? He owns the Boston Red Sox. Okay, that's where he made all his money in trend following. Okay. The godfather of trend following is called Michael Kovo. It's not Michael Kovo. I'm
Michael
sorry.
Coolio.
No, yeah. It's called Ed Secoda. He's the godfather of trend following. He started building automated trading systems with algorithms in the 70s. Okay.
What's his name?
Ed Secoda. Show him the website. I'll do that.
Oh.
So Ed Secoda,
We literally made a song about how to trade. It sounds corny, but all the information is there. It's crazy. I actually, I'm not looking for that. But it's so. Right, like. Wouldn't know to look for.
okay, so here's Ed Secoda. Now, Ed Secoda, like I said, he started a lot of this, actually in Florida, we have a lot of trend followers. Very famous trend followers. They like the nice weather here. But they have small offices. They have small offices. Okay. Usually in the past, a lot of the trading firms would have a lot of traders doing a lot of research. But because of the systems that they use, they only might have a free office staff. So they'll have an IT person, secretary and so forth. Because the system is the work. Right. Okay. But Ed started the whole industry with automated trading systems. Okay. Now this is something he does as a hobby. He has a band. He's in a band as a group. It's a bit cheesy, right? But the information is really good. All right. So whenever you guys begin to slow down time and listen to it.
The suntan song?
Yeah.
The sunscreen song?
Country heat is for everyone.
It's not this.
Oh, he's changed his ears.
In response to numerous requests over the year. In response to numerous requests. Hi, I'm Ed Secoda. In response to numerous requests over the years to reveal the inner workings of my trend trading system, I hereby take great pleasure in presenting its essential elements for your financial edification. Joining me today are several members from the Northern Nevada Bluegrass Association. We gather to play benefits for local area hospitals. If you are currently in a clinic as a recovering marketaholic, or even if you have a mild case of marketitis, this tune might put you on the road to recovery. In any event, pull up a chair, lean into your monitor, and lend us an ear. We hope that you enjoy the show. You get a whip and out this all, honey. You get a whip and out this all, baby. You get a whip and out this all. Good trend, pays for them all, honey. Favorite page. Now what do we do when we catch a trend, honey? What do we do when we catch a trend, baby? Well, what do we do when we catch a trend? We ride that trend right to the end, honey. Favorite page. So you get a whip and I get us all, honey. You get a whip and I get us all, baby. You get a whip and
What is he saying?
Get some whip and you get a saw. Basically saying that You gotta follow the trend. You have to watch the parameters that he indicates. Oh, whipsaw.
Oh, you want me to say?
I don't know. That's what's the whipsaw?
So,
I'm the teacher.
Pay attention to that.
Is it whipsaw or wake?
Whipsaw.
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 Okay, this is important. Okay. So what he's saying is this: you get a week and I get a saw. You get a week and I get a saw. You get a week and I get a saw. You get a week and I get a saw. One good trend is for them all. If you get this, it will change your trading. All right.
Feel the inner workings of my trend trading system. I hereby take great pleasure in presenting its essential elements for your financial edification. Joining me today are several members from the Northern Nevada Bluegrass Association. We gather to play benefits for local area hospitals. If you are currently in a clinic as a recovering marketaholic, or even if you have a mild case of marketitis, this tune might put you on the road to recovery. In any event, pull up a chair, lean into your monitor, and lend us an ear. We hope that you enjoy the show. You get a whip and I get us all, honey.
What is it?
You get a whip and I get us all, honey. You get a whip and I get us all. Good trend pays for them all, honey.
Okay. You get a week and I get a saw. One good trend pays for them all. What's the reason? What's happening? Guess what? He's rich. You don't have to listen to me. I'm not rich. He is. Okay, so when we trade, guys, it's a game of probability. Math. Okay. You're gonna buy on the break of resistance. You're gonna sell on the break of support. We are constantly resistance and support. We are constantly testing support and resistance. We don't know at which point that price will move into a trend, right? So that's our whipsaw. This is our whipsaw. Okay, you get this, this will remove all. All right. Okay, so if we get this, guys, it takes all the emotions out of our trading and it becomes a game of math, pure math and numbers. Okay, so what we're doing is this is our trading zone. Everything starts with support and resistance. So here is resistance, here is support. As price is hitting resistance, we're gonna get buy signals. Okay, not every time we've smoothed it out in our system so that we're only gonna get a buy signal when it breaks and close, but we're constantly testing support and resistance. Okay, so we're gonna buy, sell, buy, sell. That's our whipsaw. That's our whipsaw.
Right. No, I figured the teeth came into that somewhere. The saw teeth.
That's our whipsaw. Okay, so follow me. We can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 trades. Okay, we can lose 2% here, 3% here, 4% here, 1%, 2%, 3%, 5%, 6%, 7%, and we go a 10th trade here. 10th trade. What's happening here? What do you notice right here? What's happening here? We have losses, but what type of losses do we have? Small losses. Why? Because guess what?
Small.
Small range, right? And then guess what?
The trend, follow the trend. So
You get-
all the losses that you had in the whipsaw phase, you recovered on the trend.
We cover it right here on trade number. Not that we'll have these losses here, but that's the concept. That's the whipsaw. You get a whip and I get a saw, you get a whip and I get a saw, you get a whip and I get a saw. One good trend, listen, pays for them all. So we could lose, guys, we can, let's say we manage our losses here because we follow the process. Let's say we lose $200 here. But guess what? On this trend, because we let it run, right? We ride that trend to its end. When is the end? When it hits what?
The next whipsaw.
When does the trend end? Based on distribution. So guess what? We take all this profit. We made $1,000 here. Our net profit is $800.
Now you see why we add to the position.
So we had 10 losses, 9 losses here, 1 winning trade, and we still making money. Most traders, they want the opposite. They want 1 losing trade and 9 profitable trades. And what they do is they take small profits, and then they let the losing trade lapse. Right? That makes sense?
That work.
That makes sense? So that's what he's talking about, right? It's a game of math, probabilities. When we trade, it's all about probabilities. We can lose and still win. As a matter of fact, we don't mind taking losses. As a matter of fact, we want to see the losses. Because the closer we are to our losses, the more losses we get, the closer we are to our big win.
Inevitably has to go up.
You just have to do
Where you fall. Right. This whole diagram. Right. My fault.
So it changes everything. So now most traders is like, wow, I must have done something wrong. I got a loss, right? I had a losing trade, so I must have done something wrong. Losing, taking losses is part of it. Because we're going to get those whipsaws. But we know that, hey, if we stay in the game, guess what? And we catch that trend and we keep it until it ends, guess what? We'll always win. We'll always win. Because it's simple math. Small losses, we win. Small losses, we win. Okay.
It's all honey. You get a whip and I get a saw. You get a whip and I get a saw. Good trend pays for them all on Trader Base. Now what do we do when we catch a trend, honey? What do we do when we catch a trend, baby? What do we do when we catch a trend? We ride that trend right to the end of the Trader Base. So you get a whip and I get a saw, honey. You get a whip and I get a saw, baby. You get a whip and I get a saw. Good trend pays for them all on the Trader Base. Well, what do we do to show a loss, honey? What do we do to show a loss, baby? What do we do to show a loss? We give that daggone loss a toss.
No big deal.
No big deal.
You get a whip and I get a saw, honey. You down, it's all day. You get with down, it's all good trend. Pays for them all, unlimited baby. Well, how we know when a risk is right, honey? How we know when a risk is right, baby? Well, how we know when a risk is right? We take a lot of money and we sleep at night, honey, baby mine. So you get with me, I'll get us all, honey. You get with me, I'll get us all, honey. You get with me, I'll get us all. One good friend, pay for them all, honey, baby mine. Well, what do we do when the price breaks through, honey? What do we do when the price breaks through, baby? What do we do when the price breaks through? Our stocks are rich, so there's nothing to do, honey. Baby, be mine. You get with me, I'll get us all, honey. You get with me, I'll get us all, baby. You get with me, I'll get us all. One good trend, pays for them all, honey, baby, be mine. What year was this made?
It's old.
What you do when the drawdown comes, honey? What you do when it gets real big, baby? What you do when it's even big? We stick to the plan and pull the trigger, honey.
What did he say? Just like that is what he said. So he said, what do you do when the drawdown comes?
Oh.
What do you do when it gets even bigger? What are the drawdowns? The drawdowns are our losses here. So what do we do when the drawdown comes? What do we do when it gets even bigger? We stick to the plan and we pull the trigger. Right? So most people we get 2 or 3 losses. So if they don't have a good process in place, they don't understand this, guess what? They get out, right? They stop. Right? We continue to trade. We can continue to stick to the plan and pull the trigger, because if we don't continue to trade, we'll never get this. That pays for all of this. And that's most traders. That's most traders. Have you noticed that sometimes when you stop trading, you get frustrated, right? And then you go back to your system, right? To your process, or back to the market, and now you notice that it's gone up, right? Right? That's what he's talking about. Okay?
Just walking away, you kind of sort of reset your game of probability.
Yes.
So now you're coming back and it's like, okay, who knows who you are?
And you miss your opportunity.
So it means more about it.
And we usually stop trading because
Going after it.
Yeah.
Fight it on the way.
you chase it, right? You chase it. Okay. So we mess up the trades. It's all we're doing. It's not the market. You know, I'm going to blame it on the market, right? But it's us. Okay. Either we don't have the right process, we don't understand the markets, we don't have the right psychology. Okay. A lot of it is mental too. Okay. That's why that book Trading in the Zone is really good. So it's almost done here. And I promise this is it.
Later, baby, mine. But you get with them, it's all honey. You get with them, it's all baby. You get with them, it's all one good friend. Pays for them all, honey, baby, baby, mine. do we do with a hot news flash, honey? What do we do with a hot news flash, Randy? What do we do with a hot news flash? We stash that flash right in the trash, honey, Randy. So you get with me out this song, honey. You get with me out this song. You get with me out this song. One good friend pays for all, honey, Randy.
Pretty cool, huh?
I would have never found that.
And is he still alive? Man. So, that- pretty old, yeah.
I'm like, man.
He's got to invest more money in his videos.
That's the cool thing about it, right? You never know, I found that book, at a bookstore. There's so many lessons in that. It would take traders years to think just that right there. The weeks of. Then you cut in a losing trade that you don't need. That's it. That's it. There's no magic to it. I've kept you guys long. Are you still cold? Are you guys still cold? Freezing?
I'm already now.
So I gave you guys some information. You've got some information there. We do these classes every 2 weeks. Okay, we do coaching and everything. So go to the website, check us out. Okay. We have the systems too. Okay, so the systems are designed based on the principles in that book, Trend Following. Okay, so it's all designed to cut our losses, let our win trades run. And the goal is to, as a guide, we use it as a guide to forward traders. Okay? So that's it. Any questions for me? Anything for me? You guys not ready to go home? It's Friday.
Gotta go out and eat.
My wife is waiting for me right
She's
now.
waiting for you.
She probably like, "Who the hell is this guy?" Nice meeting
He's
you guys.
making money up there.
Yeah.
Nice meeting you guys.
Nice to meet you too. Thanks for the help. Thanks, David, for the.
You're welcome.
Very good.
Pleasure.
Very
Thanks
good.
for coming in.
Thank you.
You know, my toughest
2 weeks,
time,
right?
my toughest time is with traders that have been trading for a long time.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Can't break
They
habits.
can't get out of these habits. You guys take care. Come back, okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
As soon as he said, "Why would you do that?" I was like, "This is what you do."
Yeah. Well, good. I appreciate it. We'll come back in 2 weeks.
Yes, come back, come back.
Good deal.
Okay, that's good.
And you keep on make sure he does good trades, okay? Do his yeah, what you call it, autopilot, the
Autopilot?
yes,
Autopilot?
yes, yeah. Take care, guys. Yes, straight down left, and then left. Run for it. Uh-huh.
if you have any questions. Yeah, 2 weeks.